All right, folks, we're just going to start this little tractor up here and just take it for a test drive. Gonna let it sit here and idle up for just a second, guys. Now this little tractor has an air ride seat under it, guys. As soon as you start it up, it airs that seat right up for you. And so again, I wanted to show you guys, you've got 4 ranges here with 6 power shift gears and a reverse in each range. Now, I've done a test drive in this tractor before, and it did a few things that I wanted to just kind of check out before I actually did a video on it and posted it. And so one of the things that I find kind of interesting on this, guys, and I think it's a linkage issue, it almost has to be a linkage issue, is whenever I push on the clutch and you go to shift this, you can only get it into first gear, okay? It will not go past first gear when the clutch is in. And so when you put it into a range, so now we're in range 1, gear 1, then I can shift. Now this is something else I wanted to show you guys. I am in gear 1, range 1, and you guys can see this tractor is not moving. And I noticed this the first time I came out here. So if we give it a little fuel, you can see it start to creep forward, guys. But in that first gear, I don't know what the deal is there. In range 1, in that first gear, it just doesn't hardly want to move. So then whenever I go to second gear, you can see it starts to move, okay? And then once you get into third, then I feel like the transmission's pretty good. But for some reason, in my opinion, first and second gear, for lack of a better word, they feel like they're very weak to me, guys. Now I'm going to test that in the other ranges as well and see if I have similar challenges with first and second gear, and I simply don't know yet. Like I said, when I did the first test drive, I'm coming back about a week after I did the original listing here, guys. And when I did the original listings, I thought, man, this is strange. And I wanted to kind of check into this a little bit more and check with Kelsey. She's not driven this tractor a lot, guys. She spent most of her time in the 7130 that we're selling, so she's not real familiar with this one either. So again, I'm going to downshift into second and down into first. And maybe what it is, guys, is once that transmission warms up, maybe you're fine. You can see we're rolling along here in first gear. Now, I always do a brake check for you guys so you can see. And when I did the brake check the first time I tried to list this, guys, it just stopped the tractor in first gear. And see, it did it again. We're in first gear and it just stops it. And you guys need to know that. I don't know what the deal is with that transmission. Now, just for a test, I'm going to shift it into the second range. And put it in first gear, and we'll see if it's any different. But see it in first gear in that second range, it stops it again, guys. So I think you've got some kind of an issue there now. Is it something that the transmission warms up and then it gets better? I don't know. I simply don't know, guys. But I need to disclose that to you, that in first gear, that little tractor sure enough seems like it's kind of weak. So, and even with a little more fuel, it still basically stalls that tractor or stops it when you push the brake. Now, second gear. Let's try second gear here now. See, it pulls that tractor down. That pulls down. Second gear seems like it's better, guys. So there's your right brake right there. Now you got to pump these brakes a little bit, just so you folks know, to get them to kind of power up. Once you do, the brakes are pretty solid, but you do have to pump those to get them to power up. Now the last thing I want to show you guys, and I need to be going fairly slow like I am to show you this. When I push the clutch in on this tractor, when I push down on the clutch, you will see the shifter over here move back almost into reverse. And so I got to be real cautious about how I do this. But watch that shifter, guys. I'm pushing the clutch in. You see it shifted down? And it puts it into, it takes it into first gear, but it almost throws it into reverse when I do that. See? It almost threw that tractor into reverse. That tractor's trying to back up when I've got the clutch all the way in. It doesn't go into reverse, but it gets darn close. And so, folks, I just, in good faith, I've got to disclose to you some of these oddities, or whatever you want to call it, that I'm seeing on this thing, because I want you guys to know what you're getting. So with the clutch pushed in, you guys can see the best I can do is right there. That's as far forward as I can push that gear shift with the clutch pushed in. There's something in a linkage that is blocking that gear shift. And so I'll get this thing going for you again so I can show this. Now again, in first gear, it's real weak, guys. And so you'll see as soon as I pop it into second, this tractor's gonna lurch. Okay? Third. And then fourth, it actually seems like a gear down from third. That's another thing that's odd about this. And that's fifth. And then it doesn't even feel like it shifted into sixth. But then again, this is what's so squirrely. When I push the clutch, it's going to throw that shifter all the way back. And here we go. And I just can't believe Case designed it that way, guys. And so there's some strange things going on with this transmission and this tractor, guys. And I just, like I said, in good faith, I got to disclose that to you. Now, what makes this a real challenge for me to show you guys kind of how this tractor really does run is, see, we're in fourth gear, and that's in first or fourth range in first gear, and the tractor doesn't move. So what I was able to do right there, guys, in fourth gear, is you partially depress the clutch, and then you can get it up into the second and third gear of the power shift, and then get the tractor going, if that makes sense. If I'm all the way in on the clutch, I can only get the shifter right here, but if I only partially depress the clutch, then you can put it up into a higher gear there and get it going down the road, like you can see we're going now. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. There's something funky in this thing. Now, as far as how the tractor rides and drives nice, guys. It really does. Power steering's good on it. Little tractor seems to get out and run just like it should. We'll shift up on our power shift right there. Okay, so that should be fourth. And then I go to fifth, and it feels like it shifts down a gear. And so this is high gear right here, guys. This is sixth gear in range 4. And like I said, as far as the tractor driving, it drives nice, guys. The power steering's good. The motor sounds great in this little tractor. But I hope you guys are kind of understanding what I'm trying to show you with this gear shift here. And so, like, if I get ready to turn into this driveway that's coming up, and I got to be a little cautious, whenever I go to push the clutch in, I'm going to push the clutch in slow, because you see it pulls that down. It pulls that shifter down. And you got to be cautious when you guys are shifting this thing. Now, what I would guess, total speculation on my part, I would speculate that there's a linkage issue under this tractor somewhere that's causing this to happen, that could be fixed, where you wouldn't have that problem whenever you shift. Now, I'm also noticing I can't get it into reverse in range 4, but I can in range 3. So I'm guessing this does not have reverse in that fourth range, guys. I'm just guessing on that, okay? So I'll update this, because I think originally I put 4 reverse gears in, and it doesn't have 4 reverse gears. Okay? So again, the brakes kind of power down. You got to kind of pump them up, and if you don't use them for a while, they kind of for lack of a better word, seat back off again on you. But again, to get this going, because that's as far as I can shift the shifter forward. But if I let out on the clutch, you guys can see I can get it into a higher gear there, and then get the tractor going again. So I hope I'm explaining that to you guys right. There's something funky going on there. You see, as soon as I go to shift that, it messes it up again. So guys, there's gonna have to be some work done on this transmission. That's all there is to it. So anyway, I'll quit rambling on about it, guys. I like this little tractor. It's a clean cab, it's a clean body, good rubber. I think you're gonna have to do some work on some linkage at a minimum. And then there's something, like I said, first gear does really not work in any range that I can see. And with the clutch moving your shift lever over here, it does make it kind of a challenge to drive this tractor to a degree. So with that, I'll shut it off, guys. I know it's a lengthy video and I apologize. If you have any questions, give me a call.